There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free or who to blame. Now everybody won't be treated just the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. The hairs on your arms will stand up at the terror in each sip and in each sup. Will you partake of their last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's ground when a man comes around? Hear the trumpets, hear the piper, 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to that big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come, and the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. Oh, my bad. I didn't know y'all was there. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I hope y'all in good spirits and in good health. Welcome to another episode of Mediazewtv. So today we're going to get into this Fivio Foreign and Nas situation that's bubbling over from Jim Jones saying that he's better than Nas and Nas is not relevant anymore. Okay, so once again, Jim Jones is playing with the algorithm again. I like his new podcast and how it's setting up. You know, I figured Jim Jones was going to end up in the podcast space because he had been hating on it for a while, but really liking it. You know, what Cameron and Mace was doing. You know, but I felt like it was kind of scripted with having Fivio Foreign on to say what he had to say about Nas as the first episode. That was really smart. So Jimmy is trying to get his Donald Trump on, playing with the algorithm. There's nothing new by saying outlandish things. You know, this is the best ever this. This is the best ever that. You know, like I say, he's trying to get his Donald Trump on. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into it, thanks again for your support. And go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you hadn't done so already. But let's listen to what Fivio Foreign had to say.
Can I just say my... All right, let me just say one thing. What I feel. I grew up with niggas like Sosa, Gino, and I'm not saying that the man is wacky. He's not a legend. He's been out for years. I got a song with the nigga, and I got a song on the album, and the album got a Grammy. But I can't sit there and say a Nas bar to you or a song. I like One Mic. Or like a song that's like,
but I can.
It's just not me.
So, but I understand. So that's what I want the people to know. Like, but I can, cause Nas was my era. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Nas was my era. Like I came up fucking with Nas. Like we knew. I know the Nas shit. You heard? But moving forward, I started a whole new era and a whole new genre and a generation of people that you did, but I just be doing me, but I'm just telling you how that was. So now that we on that type of shit, so who were some of your biggest influences as rappers coming up? Like, who made you feel like you wanted to become a rapper? Who was some of the people that you wanted to dress like? Like, let me hear some of that, because that's that's the essence of what makes a nigga become a basketball player. What makes a nigga become, like, who was that for you?
I'm gonna keep it real. I was infatuated with Chief Keef in Chicago. The shit was so. It was just like, it was crazy. I liked it. Meek Mills. Pain was crazy. I loved Dipset. Jim Jones, Joel Santana.
Thank you.
I can see what Fivio Foreign was saying as far as what he grew up on. He's saying that he can't name a Nas verse. I can understand that, being his age. He did name the song One Mic, but he says he can't name not one Nas verse. That's understandable, because it's at this point I don't expect the younger generation to understand the architects and what the rap game is really built on. He did do the song with Nas. He gave him credit for getting on the song with Nas, that he really didn't have issues with Nas. On the song Spicy, featuring him, Nas, and A$AP Ferg. It was a dope song, but, in my opinion, he had the weakest verse. And in my opinion, he's whack. Then as far as mentioning people that he grew up on, first name he said was Chief Keef. Of course, he does the drill rap. My opinion, once again, New York City trying to do Chicago drill music, like New York City trying to do Southern music. Once again, New York City don't even have their own identity. And that pretty much died out, to me, in my opinion, when Pop Smoke died. So, as far as an artist, I'm just judging on the music. I don't know Fivio Foreign personally, but from everything I listened to try to get into the guy, he's whack. I'm sorry. But, okay, so then, of course, when he was saying what era that he listened to, okay, so Jim Jones have to say, Nas is not from your era, Nas is from my era. I mean, I disagree totally with that. Jimmy back on his delusion tip. You're not from Nas's era. Nas has pretty much lapped y'all 3 different times. Nas came out in 1991 on Main Source's album, Live at the Barbecue. So Google that if you're trying to know the history of it. So Jim Jones goes on to say that he started a whole new genre, a whole new era. When? If you're talking about relevant, no. Jim Jones has no relevance. Ninjas in Decatur, ninjas in Southwest Atlanta ain't listening to Jim Jones. Nobody's checking for Jim Jones, because that's the whole root of this interview. This was staged to hit the algorithm, basically. So no, that was Cameron that started the whole genre. Anybody that goes way back that knows hip hop, Jim Jones was nothing but an A&R for the Dipset. And then he made the song Ballin', written by Max B. Okay, so when you go back and listen to that song, Ballin', that he made, okay, he likes to slick hate on 50 Cent a lot. But that particular song Go back and listen to the beat on that song, and you tell me. He tried to recreate the song in the club that 50 Cent made. Same. Go back and listen to that song and listen to In the Club. So he basically tried to make In the Club, which was a big song for Jim Jones. But overall, as an artist, yes, Jim Jones has gotten better, but you can't come out and say that you relevant and sell 3,000 copies of your last album. I mean, that's the lowest. That's some of the lowest selling for artists in the last 30 years. I mean, Soulja Boy was on his third album and sat up and sold 7,000. Rick Ross, Tricycles, Bicycles, and Cars, or some compilation album, what he had with the group that he had put together. Rick Ross might have sold 3,500 of that. So those are three of the lowest selling albums in the last 30 years. But at that time, like Soulja Boy and Rick Ross was already well established with hits up under their belts. So that I remember the second album, what Jim Jones released was Hustlers POME, the product of my environment. And him and Dame Dash at the time was running around saying the album was a classic. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna check it out, see what Jimmy got going, because I always was a fan of the Dipset and Cameron. And so I listened to the album. It just it's just whack. That's all you. I can't name another Jim Jones song outside of Ballin'. He just delusional, man. He make New York City rappers look bad. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know Jim Jones personally, so I'm just speaking on the music aspect and what you put out into the universe. That's all I'm saying. And really, it's like they waiting on a response from Nas. But I think they need to just keep Nas' name out their mouths, because nothing that they've done or nothing that they could do can hold a candle to what Nas has done for hip hop. And them even continuing to have that conversation is the problem. What's wrong with hip hop music? That's why it's so out with the old, in with the new. It takes real staying power to record from 1991 all the way up until 2025 and still doing it better than any youngster on the block. So that's the main problem with our music in general, is Mick Jagger can be 85 years old with the Rolling Stones and still go on tour and sell out arenas. We don't revere or care to know the history of the genre that we're dealing in. So I'm not knocking him saying Chief Keef. I'm just saying New York has no identity. That's Chicago drill, what New York was trying to do. But I felt like when he's affiliated with Pop Smoke, and when Pop Smoke had it, Pop Smoke had a unique voice to bring a unique twist to the drill music at the time. So no disrespect, but as far as Fivio Foreign as an artist, I mean, Pop Smoke probably turned over in his grave, because that's not the heir apparent to that style. Not at all. Okay, so he named his influences. He said Meek Mill. Meek Mill is a dope artist. He named Juelz Santana. Juelz Santana is a dope artist. I just wish he would have put out more music. But it's just the whole problem of the reason why we even having this conversation. And Jim Jones knew that when he first sparked the conversation a few months ago. We don't respect the architects of this. I mean, we just don't respect the architects. So I just wish we could come to a point of having more education as far as the art form is concerned. But you know, we can't fault the man for saying what he grew up listening to. But like I say, me personally, Fivio Foreign is not my cup of tea. You know, when I'm listening to music. I want the story. I want the flow. And like I say, on the song that they had with A$AP Ferg, Nas, and him on the song called Spicy, he just come on, man. He had the wackiest verse on that album. You know, so you know, I just think we need to. You can't say clout chasing has gotten out of hand. I mean, that just comes like that comes like an added feature to being a rapper at this point in time. You know, so and thank God Nas hadn't responded because at the root of the whole issue, that's what it is. Jim Jones was waiting on a diss record to do what he does. Okay, so he's like I say, Jimmy Jones is real smart in the way that he's using the algorithm. I will give Jim Jones credit on that. He does reinvent himself in different ways. But as far as talking about creating a genre and people wanted to dress like you and I can out rap everybody from my era and all of that type of stuff. I mean, you know, stop it. Stop it, Jimmy. Stop it, Jimmy. You're not him, Jimmy. No. Cameron was him. But you capo, Jimmy. Okay, so thanks once again for your support. If you hadn't done so already, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe. It goes a long way to helping the channel. You can also find me on Facebook at Mediazewtv1. You can find me on Instagram at Mediazewtv. You can find me on Twitter X at Mediazewtv for more content. And also you can hit me on Blue Sky at mediazewtv.bsky.social. Mediazewtv BSKY social. And like I said, thank y'all for your support, and I'll be back at y'all shortly. But remember to put God first, stay engaged, and stay informed. Peace.